Hello my fellow Hammerheads and welcome back to the second review of Warhammer Plus. This time we're going to cover the mid-season of Hammer and Bolter. So Hammer and Bolter is animated by apparently one person. We don't know if this is true, but as soon as we have the information and that there are more people working on it, we will write it in the description box down below. But it is animated by Farsight Studios, a newly made sister company of Sun and Moon Studios, a British television animation studio, which is primarily for cutesy, family-friendly stuff in Britain. So as of recording right now, Hammer and Bolter has its mid-season break, and the first 7 episodes are out. We're going to cover every episode, starting, of course, with episode 1, Death's Hand. So, brother, what are your thoughts about the first episode?
Well, in the first episode, we have an Inquisitor who seeks the counsel of the Emperor's Tarot and tries to outrun his destiny. And it's one of the weakest episodes. The animation style is a bit slower than the rest. And it was actually a good episode from the context, from the story, but yeah, the animation is always the problem.
Yes. So, John French has written the story for the first episode. The story is the best part because everything else looks like a PowerPoint presentation. And yeah, it's just they had to, if they would have sped up the action by ×2, it would have looked better. But with that, what we have, it's not as great. So then we have the second episode, Bound for Greatness. Please tell me about this one.
Well, Bound for Greatness tells the story about a young acolyte in a library who is tempted by reading the book, something that is forbidden for him. His entire life is don't talk, don't read, just count the books day for day. And he's slowly tempted in reading this book, and it shows a darker past of the Warhammer franchise itself, and it has a really strong storytelling, something I love. And you don't really mind the bit more stocky animation because it fits perfect in the narrative of the story.
Yes, I do agree. This is one of the episodes which has a very bad press because there is no action in it. But the story is so grim and bleak and everything is just so depressing, and it really fits the 40k universe in my mind. And for me personally, this is one of the best episodes at the beginning. It just encapsulates everything right with the story, and that there is no real animation, as you have said. It doesn't matter as there is no action in the story. So then we have the third episode. Tell me. Say
Yes. I have to tell you, Yumi. Well, we have the old Baylor.
it. That was your microphone peaked there. It is Old Baylor.
Old Baylor. Well, it's orky, so it has to be loud.
It's the story about Gaskell and Commissar Yarick during the second War of Armageddon, Golgotha, and the third War of Armageddon. And it is told by an old one-third to a few young orc boys. And it's a fantastic story. It was made in the style of the of old 80 cartoons, 1980. And it's a really strong episode. It has the pure orcish humor, which you seek in, of course, an orcish episode. You don't really mind the stocking animation and it has just this style, this charm, and
the
I'm a-
music.
and the music is so good. I- If you love orcs, you will 100% love this episode.
Yes.
And I, as orc player, can only agree with myself.
Even as an Astra Militarum player who loves Yarrick, this is one great episode. And they even make fun of the Imperium of Man with the "For the Emperor, they say it a lot." And it's basically everything the Imperium guy says. So no matter who it is from the Imperium side, it's for the Emperor. It's amazing.
Well, they have a few lines here and there, but it's really mostly for the Emperor.
Yes.
I counted it's like 5 times in the entire episode.
Mm.
And Yarrick has like 2 lines where he speaks normal. No, 3 lines. He has 3 lines where he speaks normal, and everything else is for the Emperor.
Yes. You don't need more. It's everything you have is for the Emperor. Oh, okay, I have nothing to add. It's an amazing episode, and it's just pure fun. So even if you have gripes with the animation, this is pure humor. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's good times. So then we have the 4th episode. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Thanks tells the story about 3 young aspirants of the Space Wolves, and the story behind the tests. And it's a bit split because we have on one side the young aspirants trying to prove themselves by hunting down the beast of Fenris. On the other side, we have 3 of the mightiest heroes of the Space Wolf: Niall Stormcaller, Ulrich the Slayer, and Crom Dragongaze, who play a board game while they talk about, and the narrative fits perfect their chosen acolytes during their many trials. One trial, well, it's Space Wolves. You can never say if it's one or many or the same. And it really shows what else is there on Fenris and about the architecture on this planet, even if we know the Space Wolves don't build.
Yes.
And it's really a good episode for Space Wolf players.
Yeah, for me it was one of the weaker episodes, even though I love the Space Wolves, but they did miss, for me personally, the humoristic side of the Space Wolves. Because in the majority of the Black Library novels, there's always something to laugh. And in this episode, I did not even chuckle. It was just old guys playing chess, basically, and talking about their acolytes.
I'm honest.
The animation got better.
I'm honest. I loved a bit, but I also play Space Wolves, so yeah. I even have Crom Dragongaze. So
it's a nice model.
Oh, it's a wonderful model.
Yes. Then we have episode 5, A Question of Faith.
I think you can say there more than I do because I don't really have memories about this episode, so you know there probably more than I do.
Okay, then we have 2 Sisters of Battle who are talking about their duty and their faith in the middle of an attack from a Khanate warband. And it's a very beautiful story because you have a personal story behind the sisters, and it's not just cleanse the mutant, burn the heretic or anything. It's really just about them and their beliefs and how they deal with it. So this is a very beautiful piece. So the action in this episode got better than in the previous ones because the animator had a little bit more time to animate this, and the fights are just gruesome. So a chainsword is not the clean kill which you would have thought, which would have been. It's basically like in the video game Space Marine, and I love that. And you can see the cornets are really evil, but so are the Sisters of Battle. So yes, I like that episode. It's one of my 4 favorites. So then we have episode 6, In the Garden of Ghosts.
It's a story of a young warlock who walks together with a ranger and a striking scorpion exarch through an abandoned craft world, seeking spirit stones and the past, and it is one of the episodes that everyone loved. Well, the majority loved it.
Yeah.
Because it shows a bit more about the way of the Eldari, the way of the Eldari, and the animation got better. Actually, it got quite fantastic. And it just has so awesome moments.
Yes.
And it's also a really sad story. And I recommend this episode dearly. Everyone should have watched it.
For me personally, this is the strongest episode because it's such a heartbreaking story. And the first few times, it really struck my heartstrings. And the animation, as you have said, got better, which I really loved. And I love that Farside Studios kept this episode at the near end of the mid-season break, because there are scenes with the PowerPoint presentation style, but it makes sense because everything you see there is basically a memory. And so it's really beautiful to see how the memory of the warlock pans out. Because there's one scene in which the craft world is being attacked by the Imperium, and the camera just pans out and everything is still, but both sides are still firing at each other, and it's just beautiful to see. And the fighting between the striking scorpions and the Imperium of Man is fantastic because they're 3D models which are fully animated with amazing music behind it, and there's nothing more to say. So
well, I would say everyone who has read the Path of the Elder novels loves striking scorpions, and so this is one episode for you.
yes, but we both have a big criticism for this episode, as much
Only
as
one.
we love it. Yes,
Only
but it
one.
is a big one.
It's storytelling-wise a big one. Otherwise, it's minor.
Yeah, it could have been solved with basically a color swap.
Well, the only problem we both have with this episode is the enemy are Space Marines, and not just any Space Marines, because if I think about who fights against the entire craft world, it's either Salamanders or Black Templars, because they hate Eldari, but it's because they are the most famous one, the Ultramarines.
Yes.
And it doesn't really make sense since this takes place after Robot came back and the Primaris got introduced. So this makes storytelling-wise no sense whatsoever.
I totally agree. That's for me, it's a problem because I have Ultramarines. I love the novels in which Robert is talking with Eldrad and Ivrain. So I don't know. it's kind of weird because Robot has even an Farseer in his command squad in the novels, so I don't know.
It's even worse when you think about it, because during the Regulus book, the former Regulus campaign books,
Hmm?
there was a force of Baal-Tan who, who had a bit trouble with the defense forces because they mistook them for their Drukari brothers. And Manios Kalga solved this problem without violence because he got told by Robot, don't engage with the Eldari, we have with them a pact. So this is the only criticism
Yep.
that I have with this episode.
I totally agree. So then we have the last episode before the mid-season break. Episode 7, Kill Protocol.
Well, Kill Protocol is about a tech priest together with a Castellan bodyguard on a former you can really tell what it was. I guess a hive world overrun by orcs, and only burning wreckages exist, and they seek for an archaeotech which can possibly reconstruct anything that it get in touch with. And this is the entire core part of the episode. This the talking between the not really talking, because the tech priest talks in Gothic, so low Gothic, what we talk, and the Castellan only answers in binary.
Yes, it's awesome.
And you really feel in this episode the shift between those two. It's first, so I'm your master, you're my robot. You have to do what I want, but I still use the long catechisms, spirit of this machine, hear my word, and it slowly gets faster, and they slowly start to become friends. And it's really wonderful to watch this episode and see that even a tech priest of Mars can be attached to one of their robots.
Yes, it's beautiful. And it's the episode with the best animation, because basically everything is animated. There are just a few scenes in which there is the, as I mentioned, PowerPoint presentation style. But it does not matter. Everything is beautiful, and the storytelling is amazing. The tech priest, so far removed from humanity, is emotionally colorblind, and the Castellan robot has more empathy for everything else in the surroundings. So that was really great storytelling, and also very dark, because they're on this planet, there are still orcs around, and somewhere in the story they encounter a survivor and tell him, yeah, we won, and everyone departed because there are more important missions and planets in the sector. So everyone left. And again, the camera just pans out and shows a devastated, bleak landscape, and just like, this is victory? That was amazing.
So, if you have seen the former videos, you know that we already recorded this episode, but we had a problem. So my
I'm
voice
sorry.
was not recorded. So this is our second session, and we are sitting here. And at the end of the first session, we were like, yeah, that's our wishes and hopes for the next episodes. And he was like, oh yeah, I wish for Stormcast, and
I'm so sorry.
yeah, and I, who is a big Tyranid fan, here everywhere Tyranids, said I want more Tyranids. So, and last Sunday the new trailer dropped with the new episodes and what's coming for Warhammer Plus in the new year, and it's Stormcast and Tyranids, and I was really, really happy and
Yes.
surprised and felt like there's somewhere a microphone
Yeah.
there's somewhere a microphone in my apartment, and that they're listening to us, and yeah.
It was basically like, I want Tyranids, I want Stormcasts. Farsight Studios, I've got you. The last time we talked about our hopes and wishes and what we have missed in the first half of the season. We can still talk about that because we didn't see everything which is coming for Hammer and Bolter. So yes, we have Stormcasts, we have the Tyranids versus Astra Militarum. What else do you want?
What else do I want? Well, I would love at least one episode in honor of Nurgle. At least one episode. I don't care if it's Warhammer 40k or Age of Sigma. I just want one episode where we see this little cheeky buggers.
Yeah.
These cuties. And yeah. This is my wish episode. And what about you?
So for me, it's kind of hard because I already got my wish with Stormcasts. Not really Stormcasts, but I already prepared myself for them because I wanted an Age of Sigma episode, and it's of course Stormcasts. We did see Neve Black Talon, but that is probably going to be her own series, for which I'm always for it because Neve is one of my favorite characters from the Stormcast. And anything else would be one of my favorite characters in the whole of fantasy, Nagash. I really want to see Nagash. I don't care if it's Soulblight, if it's Nighthaunt, or I just want to see him. Yeah, we kinda got distracted there, so I don't know where I will cut this. But for everyone who has listened to the audio dramas with Manfred and the Hallowed Knights, everyone will know why I want Nagash in animation style. So that is my wish. So what are your overall thoughts for the first half of Hammer and Bolter? Are you disappointed? Are you glad? Whatever, just say it. There is no bad comment.
Well, I had mixed feelings because of the first two episodes, but it just became better and better, and I am really excited for the next part.
Yes, that's basically my thoughts because the storytelling is great, but like everyone else, the animation could be better. But if it's really true that it's only one person animating this, I totally understand. So that's not going to be a point in which I will bash the poor person. These are our overall thoughts for the mid-season break of Hammer and Bolter. I guess I can say that we're both excited for the next 7 episodes. And yeah, I hope we could convey our thoughts as well as possible because, as we already mentioned, this is our second take. I'm so sorry again. Maybe we missed something, maybe not, but if you have any questions, just write it in the comment section down below. We're very keen to know what you think about this. Please do all the YouTube stuff because hitting buttons is fun. Stay fantastic, stay hydrated, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!